Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm your host, Brian Scott, and today we are talking about chakras, energy flow, and Kundalini. I decided to talk about energy and energy flow after looking at the episodes that I had done, and before talking about chakras, I did an episode on the human energy field and the biospiritual continuum. Be sure to check that out because a lot of what we're going to talk about today is related to that. In particular, there are 4 specific bodies that you have. There is the mental body, the emotional body, the etheric body, and the physical body. And in discussing chakras, we must understand that these are interfaces between these different bodies. The chakras are incredibly important, and the activation of these chakras can allow you to have greater power, greater senses. It can give you the ability to heal and can activate potentials within you that are beyond anything that you can imagine. They are spiritual in nature. And I have dedicated several episodes to talking about energy and energy flow. We have a meditation for each of the chakras. And it's been a while since I discussed chakras, and I have gained a lot more experience and knowledge about chakras, and I wanted to return to this and update what I know about it. One of the best ways to learn something is to teach it, and so I've been teaching about chakras for a while now. We have several episodes that have been addressed to the different chakras, and I have a meditation for each of the chakras. But when I say chakras, it seems almost like cliche. You hear so many people talk about it. There's thousands and thousands of videos where people talk about chakras. So it's really important that we clarify what chakras really are. Once you understand that chakras sort of represent your spiritual evolution and your place on this planet, it's really amazing to do work on your chakras, and the inevitable result is that you have more power and you acquire the ability to manifest your reality faster. Each of the chakras has their own beautiful function. And if you're struggling with something, oftentimes it can be found that one of those chakras are being blocked. I know that many people out there still do not believe in chakras. And I've had people say, why haven't scientists been able to find it? There's a lot of skepticism that chakras even exist. So I will only discuss what I've been able to find through research and personal experience. Going back to that episode on the human energy field and the biospiritual continuum where I discussed the different bodies, I would refer you to that episode. Each of the bodies discussed in that episode, the mental body, this emotional body, the etheric body, and the physical body, they coexist. These are bodies of energy that you exist within. You may not be able to see. In that episode, I give some exercises so you can find and actually see these bodies that you exist within. But they coexist with each other. The energy bodies are part of an energy continuum to a spiritual reality. Hence, there must be a mechanism for energy transfer and communication along this continuum. The energy bodies have points of interface that serve as transducers. These centers are referred to as chakras. In yogic teaching, sages have intricately described them thousands of years ago. This has been made much more accessible in modern language by the work of many authors such as Dr. Anadia Judith, Dr. Carolyn Miss, and Dr. Barbara Brennan. Chakra is a Sanskrit word. Chakras are not physical entities. They are more aptly described as consciousness and energy domains. They can receive, transmit, and transduce energy in several ways. They provide a portal for the interchange of energies among the various energy bodies. They also are in continuity with the energy of the earth. This allows the interchange of energy between the human body and the planet. They are also portals for the reception and interchange of divine energy from a higher vibrational reality to the physical plane through the human body. Many of us would not be able to take pure divine energy. It's filtered, and that's one of the main reasons we have chakras. Lastly, one can form connections to other people through the chakras. Chakras exist at the level of the subtle energy bodies. They are not in the normal range of vision. When in meditation or in working with energy healing, some people can actually see chakras. They appear usually in one of two ways. First, they can appear as a glowing center or ball of colored light. This is how they tend to appear in closed eyes vision, sort of a luminous form. Secondly, they may be seen as whirling cones or vortices of energy. When seen more structurally like this, they have a conical shape or radiation, which extends perpendicular to the body. Most people do not see chakras. However, everyone readily feels the chakras. For example, have you ever experienced butterflies in your stomach? This is a slightly nervous or excited energy within the solar plexus chakra. How about a lump in your throat? This is the constricting of the energy center known as the throat chakra. Have you ever felt yourself pull away from aggressive behavior? This may involve closing down the chakra centers, particularly at the solar plexus and root levels. These are just a few examples of everyday experiences that demonstrate most people can perceive their chakras, even if they are not aware of the basis of the experience. If you were to dissect the human body, you would not find a chakra. They are not structural entities in the visible physical body. They do, however, have a structural element in the layers of non-visible energy. Furthermore, they are dynamic and do not always look the same. They can expand or contract in caliber, opening and closing to variable degrees. For this reason, artistically, chakras are often depicted in the form of a flower bud with a specific number of petals. One important function of chakras is to bring high vibrational energy into the denser world of forms. This occurs as spiritual energy passes from a spiritual level of consciousness into the physical body. Imagine for a moment that your higher self nature is light, information, and consciousness. As this light passes into form as a human being, it can be viewed as passing through levels of descending vibration found in the 7 major chakras. This light can be understood to spectralize as it passes through the descending layers of vibration into human form. Hence, we can conceptualize the light flows into the physical form. It passes through the prism of one's being. If anybody's ever looked at a prism and put sunlight through a prism, you will see that it breaks down into the spectrum of rainbow colors. The fractionated light has levels of vibration that appear like a rainbow. We're all familiar with the appearance of white light breaking open into a spectrum of rainbow colors as it passes through a prism. In the rainbow, there are 7 key vibratory levels: violet, indigo, pale blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. These correspond to descending chakra colors. The chakras are in the midline of the body, centered along the axis of the spine. They run from the base of the spine to the top of the head. In describing this esoteric anatomy, the chakras exist along a central channel that is part of the subtle energy. This channel runs like a tube from above the head to below the feet, connecting the chakras along its axis. In Eastern traditions, this central channel is referred to as the Sushumna. This is an important concept, for as we begin to explore the chakras, we will begin to understand the importance of living in the center or core of your being, not specifically in a chakra domain. On this axis, the chakras occur at intersection points of 2 additional major channels of energy, which are part of the larger energy circuitry in the human body. These channels are referred to as the Ida and the Pingala. You may be familiar with a schematic depiction of these energy channels represented as entwined serpents in the healing medical symbol of the caduceus. We can look at each chakra individually. Each of the 7 chakras corresponds to a cardinal function based on the vibratory level at which it resides. This includes not only the energetic correlations such as color, it includes physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual correlations, which is what Quo basically emphasizes in discussing these chakras or energy centers, which they call rays. Psychologically, there is a developmental goal or purpose to achieve at each chakra level. as one matures in one's life. For example, the root chakra functions to ground one's creation into physical form. The physical correlation to this chakra is developing a solid foundation in the world upon which you build your life. The psychological function of this chakra is related to grounding and security. The spiritual function of this chakra is to manifest your spirit in the physical world. Through these correlations, we can also understand the various types of imbalances which may conceivably occur if the chakras are not functioning properly. This draws important energetic correlations to some disease states. The chakras may exist in a healthy, free-flowing, and balanced state. Equally, they can be found in an imbalanced state as we examine the role of each chakra. It is easier to appreciate some of the attributes that may weaken or block a chakra or lead to a chakra being either overexpressed or underexpressed in relationship to other chakras. We can also imagine the psychological challenges faced and even physical diseases that might logically correlate with poor individual chakra function. Issues in healing can be approached in terms of dealing with the unique personal factors corresponding to each chakra. Hence, people often work to clear and balance energy as it correlates with the chakra system while healing. In doing so, the energy of our soul can emerge to express itself in an aligned, balanced, and healthy way. One can view this as a process of repairing, tuning, or recalibrating the energy system. In harmony, as energy flows through the human chakras, it is reflected in a healthy body, a healthy emotional expression, a healthy mind, a solid grounding of your spirit in life, love-based relationships, compassion, and peace. Let's take a look at the individual chakras and some of the principal correspondences. Starting at the root chakra. Now in Sanskrit, this first root chakra is referred to as the Muladhara chakra. It correlates to the color red as the lower vibratory scale of the light color spectrum. It corresponds to the element of earth. This chakra represents the organization of solid or grounding elements in one's life. It has 4 petals. The root chakra organizes one's life force into the plane of the earth, serving as a foundation. It relates psychologically to security and belonging. If clear and harmonized, one will be well rooted in the physical world. The winds of life may blow and waters may surge, but a person will have an unchanging sense of rootedness, security, and belonging, and a life that is well grounded and supported. An individual relationship to life on this level, both physically and psychologically speaking, will have obvious correlations. If the chakra is unbalanced in reference to other chakras, a person may be too grounded and unable to rise to higher levels of vibratory experience. Alternately, they may be ungrounded or be tethered to other vibratory levels for fear of grounding into the world of form. How might such imbalances arise? Imagine, for example, that a child was not nurtured during a critical developmental period of early life, and they were exposed to extremely fearful events in early development. It is easy to imagine that the individual may feel untrusting that life will support them. This could weaken the first chakra development. Alternately, it could lead to an overdeveloped chakra as a person roots in firmly to survive. This can give rise to a certain inflexibility. These demonstrate some types of influences that may impact first chakra development. If the chakra is underdeveloped, there will be need of healing work to develop a sense of groundedness and safety. If it is overdeveloped, it will need to be balanced by the development of higher chakra function. People with a clear and well-functioning root chakra have overcome the basic fear of physical survival and feel secure. They are trusting and capable of providing for their own self, their family, and their community. According to personal skill and talent, as one is established in this aspect of consciousness, one can move away from these concerns to other levels of development. When healing is necessary in this chakra at a simplified level, it will be related to fear, survival, and lack, and the need for rebalancing the material dimension with the important functions of higher vibratory influences. All chakras have a correlative endocrine function in the human body. The endocrine system defines all the organs in the body which produce hormones that regulate the many processes involved in human physiology. On a level of endocrine function, the first chakra correlates with the adrenal glands, which control elemental and mineral balance. and the well-known adrenal hormones which regulate fight and flight reactions. The second, or sacral chakra, is referred to in Sanskrit as the Svadhisthana chakra. It correlates with the color orange. This center corresponds to the water element and psychologically to the creative and life-nourishing nature contained in the water element. Earth is a water-based planet. Life and creativity flow through this element as it is contained by form. This center regulates the relationship of creative energy as it is channeled into all forms, as well as our sensual, sexual, and creative expression. The chakra has 6 petals. If we think of the nature of water, it will help understand the function of the second chakra. Water flows and nourishes, water moves into and takes the form of its container. Unlike the more rigid attributes of structure or logic, the nature of water is flowing and adaptable. It can also be unbridled and unpredictable. Harmony in this element leads to balance and a nourishing, joyous, creative expression. If this chakra is blocked or restricted, the force of this element is missing in one's life. This may correlate to diminished creativity, sensuality and sexuality, or any form of creative expression. If it is overexpressed, a strong emotional energy can overtake one's life, or addictive and clinging attitudes to the sensual elements of life arise. Healing of this chakra relates to issues of lust, addiction, sexual expression, impotence, rigidity, attachment, pleasure, guilt, and creativity. On a level of endocrine function, it correlates with the gonads, the testicles, and the ovaries. These organs are related to the dichotomy of masculine and feminine energies inherent in reproduction. It also implies the male-female duality that must find balance in life in all that this may imply. The solar plexus chakra is termed Manipura in Sanskrit and correlates to the color yellow. It corresponds to the element of fire and the power of will. If we think of fire as an element, we can appreciate that at this level of creation, fire adds heat, warmth, vitality, energy, and dynamic self-expression. In psychological terms, it correlates to development of self-identity and individuation as a distinct human being. In healing, it relates to the expression of one's self-identity in the context of the whole. It has 10 petals. In harmony, one stands aligned in personal power, demonstrating clarity of thought and power balance in relationships and in self-expression. Healing of this chakra relates to issues of self-esteem, willpower, passive-aggressive balance, victimization, defensiveness, anger, control and domination, doubt and shame. In the endocrine system, it corresponds to the pancreas gland and the digestion, absorption, assimilation, and regulation of life energies. The heart chakra is named in Sanskrit the Anahata chakra and correlates to the color green. It corresponds to the air element. It is the central of the 7 chakras and plays this central role in the whole picture of one's life. It can be viewed as the doorway between higher centers and the lower centers of the chakra axis and viewed as the harmonizer. It has 12 petals. If we think of air as an element, we think of space or spaciousness and lightness of being. There is a freedom which can expand the sense of self-identity into a larger relationship with life and with other beings. Through the heart, one connects with the energy of divine love, which energizes all of creation. It relates to the circulation of essence throughout the entire body and the flow of love into the world and into our life. In healthy expression, one can express an open, balanced, compassionate, heart-based relationship to life, a healthy self-identity, and a respect for life and all living things. One can maintain a sense of boundaries, yet be capable of loving, balanced relationships as well as creating a sense of harmony in their life. Healing in this arena relates to love and openness. Love can be towards self, others, or any element of life. Issues of poor self-care, codependence, withdrawal, judgment, hard-heartedness, and grief, for example, correlate strongly with healing at the level of the heart chakra. From an endocrine perspective, the heart center correlates with the thymus gland, which is involved in immunity. It is invigorated by free-flowing, loving relationship with one's life. The throat chakra is entitled in Sanskrit the Vishuddha chakra, and do not use my pronunciations but look them up. And this correlates to the color blue. It corresponds with the element ether, the element of etheric vibration, and with creative sound it has 16 petals. We might think of sound as the ability to use vibration to call energy into an organized structure or form reality. Hence, the function of this chakra is to express our creative ideas into form. This center is the higher center of creative expression and the use of the power of sound. Sound in a human being is not limited to the use of words. It may also relate to the creative power that is manifested through the thoughts we create or empower. Thoughts can seed an etheric creation. Hence, creative expression may include the influence of both the thoughts we empower and the words we speak. This center is related to the etheric energies that build and form patterns. As we create these internal energy patterns through words and thoughts, they can be viewed as seed energies around which a greater energy is magnetized to create a tangible form expression. Hence, as conscious beings, the way we think and the way we speak will ultimately affect the energy and experiences that are drawn toward us, for these will resonate with their seed vibration. It is important that we learn to open and speak truth. It is also important to know when to be silent. It is important to align what we think and speak with the highest creative awareness and causal potential. The way you think and speak about yourself, about others, and about the world all have a creative influence. Your life will reflect the quality of these vibrations. The healing of this center can be viewed to relate to our internal creative power. This can mean overcoming the influence of authoritarian control, verbal abuse, judgment, bullying, dishonesty, suppressed expression, finding and using one's voice, overcoming the need to control situations with forceful communication, dominating in communication, learning to listen, balanced, honest self-expression, and higher creative expression. Side note, there are certain people of certain political affiliation that whenever I meet them, their throat chakra is closed, and that's because they are not able to properly deal with authoritarian control, disinformation, judgment, bullying, dishonesty, or they are those things, and it directly affects the throat. I would love to be proved wrong on this. I am only saying that in general, if you are trying to manipulate others, it causes an imbalance in your throat chakra. Incidentally, sound can also be used to clarify or reorder reality through vibratory influence and has emerged as a profound healing modality. This healing principle has been taught in the use of mantras and sacred chanting for thousands of years to help restructure the human energy field. This is founded in a deeper appreciation of the fifth chakra function. This chakra corresponds to the thyroid gland, a small but important gland affecting growth, metabolism, and overall balance in the body. The third eye chakra is referred to in Sanskrit as the Ajna chakra. This center corresponds to the element of light and the function of vision. This center connects a person with the higher visionary aspects of our human potential. We are all connected to a higher knowing, intuition, and creative vision. And all of these capacities continue to grow as we expand in consciousness, in a state of balance. A person lives with inner clarity, intuitive ability, imagination, and insight. It has two large petals receiving the Ida and Pingala. Healing in this center can be related to the essence of light. Light helps us to see clearly and overcome darkness and illusion. There's a famous biblical expression from the Gospel of Matthew 6:22 that states, "The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light." There is a correlation between this statement and an understanding of the sixth chakra. If focus and attention are kept unified and light is not distorted by human thought into egoic thought and creation, the body can fill with light. This light is the energy which comes through the human axis for creative purposes and will process through chakras to create a healthy life. When a person seeks to grow spiritually and to clear their energy system, there is a progressive spiritual liberation, restoration, and realignment that occurs. The concept of a spiritual awakening is scary to some people, for they view it as austere and religious. As a spiritual awakening occurs, one does not really become stoic or afraid of life and living. One becomes more and more a fountain of light, one through which the energy, the light, and the power of a love-based universe can flow. One is less and less restricted by the forces of negativity, distortion, and suppression that keep each of us separated from the greater understanding of our spiritual nature and expression. The vision to achieve this emerges through our sixth chakra. On a functional level, this chakra can relate to all things visual, including visualization and visionary correspondences. The light of our vision can be thought to precede the building of form that occurs one chakra below. This includes the form of anything we create as human beings. It also includes creation in all ways, including our bodies, our relationships, our communities, and even our societies. Healing involves learning to operate from a clear, balanced, enlightened perspective, conscious and undistorted framework. It involves clearing out distorted visions which tend to manifest in our life. It involves opening our vision to a greater truth. Hence, if your eye is single upon universal consciousness, you can heal anything in your world. Importantly, when we experience light in a dark place, we must remember light reveals and then heals. Light will show us the illusory nature of duality-based creations and show us the truth behind life. It will also reveal the illusions within ourselves. It is for this reason that true transformation can be messy. If this center is brought into a unified alignment, the endless duality of worldly creation fuses into a one-pointed orientation, the non-dual world of love. If this is the center of one's vision, the whole world around us transforms. As this third eye chakra develops, some people develop clairvoyant abilities. However, always remember that right vision is not energy vision. Energy vision is certainly not needed to heal oneself or help others. Also, any healing work that involves dreams, visioning, and clairvoyant assistance can also be understood to correspond with this center. This chakra correlates to the pineal gland in the physical endocrine system. This gland is located midline at the base of the frontal lobes of the brain. It is operative in its hormonal influence on light cycles and cyclic balance. The crown chakra in Sanskrit is named the Sahasrara chakra. It describes the highest chakra within the human physical form. Through this chakra, one connects to higher levels of spiritual awareness. This includes the awareness of one's spiritual nature and origins and the existence of a spiritual reality. The crown chakra is also known as the 1,000-petal lotus. As this chakra opens and expands in function, it bears influence over the remaining chakra centers. One is continuously encouraged spiritually to enter into the challenges and overcome the obstacles to higher growth, awareness, and earthly manifestation. Integrating the higher centers and heart allows a higher energy and consciousness to integrate into and through the lower energy centers, essentially spiritualizing one's life. Through the opening and expansion of the crown chakra, one becomes more spiritualized in consciousness, effectively raising one's vibration. This manifests as a desire to know more of your spiritual nature and purpose. It also invokes a desire to heal and improve one's life. This encourages each of us to uncover issues or challenges and to heal them, to forgive trespasses and past events, and to live peacefully. The attributes of a spiritualized integrity become unwaveringly important: honesty, kindness, compassion, integrity, courage, mercy, and love. Developing these qualities is a part of the spiritual awakening cycle. Healing at the level of the crown center implies the relationship one holds with one's spiritual identity. Over-identification or under-identification with one's spiritual nature defines the spectrum of what healing might involve at this level. For example, this might relate to overcoming materialistic tendencies, opening to a greater spiritual influence in one's life, dismantling restrictive spiritual belief systems, or manifesting spiritually inspired change in the real world. The endocrine correspondence is the pituitary gland, which is a master gland in the human body. Its hormones regulate the activity of many glands throughout the body. In some esoteric systems, a cross-correlation of the pituitary and pineal glands with the 6th and 7th chakras is suggested. A fully active crown chakra is symbolic in Eastern traditions of enlightenment. When enlightened beings in history are depicted, such as Christ or Buddha, they often have radiant fields of light or halos. This is often assumed to represent a symbolic rendering of a high consciousness state. It actually depicts, however, the luminous state of an opened crown chakra. As we integrate higher aspects of spiritual consciousness, at this time, there's an emerging awareness that even higher chakras or energy centers exist. You may read about different perceptions of our expanding energy system. This is sometimes referred to as light body integrations. This work describes chakras or energy centers outside the classic 7 chakra system. Unlike the first 7 centers, which are related to the human journey of enlightenment, these centers correlate to what might be considered transpersonal integration. They are related to the human connection with alternate reality experiences such as past life experiences, the Akashic record, deeper soul awareness, and the spiritual blueprint of your life. The 7 primary chakras describe the descent of spirit into matter. They can be viewed to describe the spiritual journey back to oneness, or what is sometimes termed ascension. This is a rise from the duality-based struggle of a human being by one who is awakening to his or her spiritual nature. This is the process we are primarily focusing on during the healing journey. The chakra can be viewed esoterically as the mechanism by which consciousness enters into and exists within the world of human form. We can visualize that as the soul descends into form, the energy of the soul passes through the crown as the light of spiritual awareness. Light emerges through the 6th chakra as one envisions manifesting in the world a living experience. Light then expressed into the world by the 5th chakra. The light passes next, qualified by the vibrational order of the 4th chakra, which is expressed to the level of energy of the heart. The life force is qualified or empowered by the fire of will in the 3rd chakra, enriched and nourished by the fluidity and passion of water in the 2nd chakra, and into a world of manifested form at the root chakra. This poetic description describes the spiritual journey of spirit into form. A reverse journey of spiritual awakening can also be considered. This defines a path, the journey of awakening from veiled human consciousness toward an awakened spiritual state. As humans, we might view ourselves as originally veiled from our spiritual nature. At this stage, we are adrift in the world of duality consciousness, the play of light and dark, the play of good and evil, known as the illusory world of Maya. Then a spiritual awakening occurs. The longing of the soul to reunite with its spiritual nature becomes strong. The soul begins its rise from the rigid world of form. It is softened through the emotional, nourishing, creative energy of the 2nd chakra. It is charged by the empowerment of fire in the 3rd chakra as it rises into an autonomous, self-aware, and self-responsible being. Rising like a phoenix, the soul reaches up in aspiration to know its true nature. The identity of a limited self now matures into the expression of a higher ideal through relationship and love. Through one's heart, one calls upon the further healing influence of spirit to reorder the energy of one's world. One is assisted by the light of consciousness to envision the path under the healing influence of spiritual grace. This awakens consciousness of one's true identity to be a spiritual in nature, with the healing potential it brings in its wings. It is time to get a little more familiar with your personal chakra system through an exercise. Make yourself comfortable, sitting with your back nice and straight. If this is uncomfortable, lie down for the exercise. It's perfectly okay. And begin by making a conscious connection with your higher self. Then make a conscious connection with the earth. Take a few deep, slow breaths and let your body relax, letting go of any tension. Imagine a stream of energy that begins to move up through your root chakra at the base of the spine. Focus your attention here. Let the energy build. Sense or imagine the color red and allow it to glow brightly. Let the energy flow up now to the area of the 2nd chakra, the sexual creative center, between your navel and the base of the spine. Visualize the color orange. Focus your attention and let the energy grow more intense. Gently keep your attention here, letting the energy build until you can feel a sensation of tingling or vibration. Let the energy flow up next to the area of the third chakra at your stomach. Focus your attention here and let the energy build. Visualize the color yellow. Gently keep your attention here, letting the energy build until you can sense the energy. Let the energy flow up now to the area of the fourth chakra, the heart. Visualize or imagine a glowing green light. Focus your attention here and let the energy build. Pay attention to the feeling of being centered in your heart. Feel how life flows through your heart as you allow the energy to nurture the chakra. Let the energy flow up now to the fifth chakra at the level of the throat. Focus your attention here and let the energy build. Visualize the color blue. Let the energy build and be aware of any sensation you may have. Is it tight or restrictive? Open and free? Let the energy soothe the chakra. Now bring your attention to the sixth chakra, or third eye. This is between the eyebrows in the middle of the forehead. Just let the energy work here to enliven the chakra. You may sense heat or light, or may see light in your mind's eye. Relax and allow the light to work with the center in whatever way is most appropriate to support you. Now bring your awareness to the top of your head, the crown chakra. Let the energy focus at the top of your head and allow it to build. You may feel a tingly feeling in your scalp or a gentle pressure. You may feel the energy open here as you work with this exercise. As you focus your attention in this pattern tour of the chakras, you're actually energizing each chakra. Next, in this open and charged state of your chakras, allow light to flow down from above and move through your entire energy system. Take a few moments to bathe in the energy that has been stimulated to support your healing. Next, invite the energy of the earth from below to rise up through your energy system to your heart. Allow also the energy from spirit above to move down. Let these energies meet in your heart. Feel the energy mix in your heart center and let it radiate to fill your entire auric field. Let it expand in all directions as far as it will go. Allow a few moments of your energy system to speak to you. Register any of the tightness or restrictions and allow the energy that is built up in this process to move toward these areas of restriction to support a release and realignment. Consciously allow yourself to relax and spend a few minutes in this peaceful but energized space. Allow the healing influence of this exercise to settle deep within your energy field. Breathe and let go. If you're able to feel this energy, you're beginning to feel your chakra centers. Do not be discouraged if you're unable to sense or feel energy changes. This, as with any skill, develops with practice and time. Simply pay attention to any sensations you may feel or encounter, even if it is as simple as a twitch in your body or a state of profound relaxation. As you do, you become aware of the reality of your human energy system. You awaken your potential to access healing through its presence. Now, I'd like to talk about Nadis. The word Nadi comes from the Sanskrit word Nadi, meaning channel or stream. Like chakras, the Nadis are not physical structures. They are channels or circuits in the subtle energy of the body through which energy is relayed. These channels form a network for energetic transfer and communication. In this network, there are three major channels of energy, as well as a complex branching circuitry of Nadis that extend throughout the etheric energy body. This includes 12 major channels, referred to as meridians, and numerous smaller branching nadis. The three major central channels are named the Sushumna, the Ida, and the Pingala. The Sushumna is depicted as a large energy channel running in a straight column from the base chakra to the crown chakra. The Ida and the Pingala are depicted as serpentine channels that wind around the central axis or the Sushumna. They create a spiral crisscrossing at multiple points along the axis. The points of intersection of these channels correspond to the levels of various chakra points along the Sushumna. The Pingala is associated with active masculine solar energy. It courses from the left aspect of the root chakra to the left aspect of the sixth chakra. The Ida is associated with the passive feminine lunar energy. It courses from the right of the root chakra to the right side of the sixth chakra. That's one reason the alternate nostril breathing is so powerful, because you can activate both of these nadis. These channels form the pattern depicted in the well-known caduceus, a symbol ubiquitous to modern medicine. The caduceus, however, is an ancient symbol found in teachings of Eastern medicine, a medicine based on energy-inclusive understanding of the human body. In the polarity of forces of energy, we can identify an interplay of active and passive forces, which intertwine with the human body to create the ebb and flow necessary to create and sustain life. Although identified as active masculine and passive feminine forces, these energies are not limited in a gender sense of the word. They are forces that are inherent in every human being. Men have a passive receptive quality in life, and women have an active quality. Men can be tender and women can be strong. The energy is describing a sustaining polarity found through all of creation, not simply gender or sexuality. In health, the fluidity between the polarities must be in balance for optimal functioning. This is represented in the balance between these two energy channels and all that this idea implies. At the upper level of the body, the two channels meet at the third eye. When a human being sits upright with attention singly focused in the third eye, one becomes receptive to a light and energy that exists just behind our visible creation. In addition to the central primary channels of energy, there is also a vast network of channels akin to the branching nerves and blood vessels in our body. They produce a complex circuitry in the human energy field. They channel through the etheric body and interface with the physical body, through the nervous system, nerve plexus, and deep connective tissues that exist within the body. In the organization of this network, meridians form that regulate the energy flow within and between individual organ systems. The energy that flows is given many names: universal energy, life force energy, chi, ki, kai, mana, and prana, just to name a few. Meridians represent 12 major energy channels in the human energy system. The meridian science is beyond the scope of this episode. For health, the meridian and nadi circuits must be functional and clear. Weaknesses in the meridians or congealed energy built up in the meridians can lead to functional problems as well as physical disease in the human body. Treatments such as acupuncture are based on principles to correct excesses or deficiencies of energy flow in these channels. Congested energy can also be dissipated or extracted. Weak channels can be charged. In any form of energy medicine, the flow of energy through the nadis and meridians will be effective. In learning about energy healing and spiritual growth, you will encounter the concept of a Kundalini awakening. I have several Kundalini meditations on the channel, ones where I take you through actual physical exercise and one that are more mentally based. I've had a Kundalini awakening, and it was so profound, it made me search out ways to awaken the Kundalini after I felt like it closed again, and to help others do that who have come to me asking for help in awakening their Kundalini. Kundalini in esoteric traditions is described as a dormant energy coiled at the base of the spine within the human energy system. This energy will at some point be activated and begin to work on healing the energy system. Healing in the context of a Kundalini awakening is a process of spiritual unfolding within the human energy system. This facilitates a reunification of our human body with our spiritual nature. It implies an energy development that involves both an expansion and a clearing of the human energy system. In Eastern traditions, Kundalini is viewed to be awakened by Shakti, the divine feminine power. In Western terms, this may be viewed as the Holy Spirit. As the energy of Kundalini rises through the human chakra system, it works to unblock restrictive energies that have been created through human experiences, karma, or inherited patterning. As one experiences a Kundalini activation, one is catapulted into a level of healing that is potentially deeply restorative. It will open the human chakras and energy system in expanded ways. Simply stated, the rise of Kundalini raises one's consciousness and one's overall energy to a state of higher energetic vibration. This supports integration with one's truer spiritual nature and divine consciousness. This Kundalini process is unique from one person to the next. However, there are themes of experience that occur. For some people, that is a fairly smooth and natural process of development. In others, the process can create some unusual experiences. Shakti works to unshackle us from our obstinate ego separation and its endless illusory creations so that we may experience the infinite and the truer nature of who we are as spiritual beings. In the search for healing and growth, one is essentially seeking to clear the energy system of energy and consciousness patterns that are leading to the manifestations of disease or imbalance, either in the physical body or one's psychological life. Kundalini awakening can be understood to represent the process by which this occurs. This transformation opens up the energy system to a much greater degree than previously experienced. How Kundalini awakening occurs is a mystery. There are some people that claim they know everything about it, but I have found that that is just simply not true. It certainly can be induced by spiritual practice, and by engaging in energy healing practices, it can also occur subsequent to an accident or trauma, the use of drugs during a profound sexual experience, or many other triggering events. However, serendipitously, it often simply occurs by grace. In the actual physical experience of a Kundalini awakening, a wide spectrum of experiences has been reported. This may include internal movements of energy, jerking, shaking, or internal vibrations. It may involve the provoking of an unusual posture, or breathing may involve sensations of heat, cooling, or electrical sensation. Psychologically, it can lead to large and unexplained swings in emotion or transcendent feelings of joy, bliss, compassion, and love. Spontaneous tears of joy or sadness may occur with crying and or laughter. Perceptually, people may experience internal visions, lights, sounds, music, or symbols. Some people have direct out-of-body experiences or unusual visions or dreamlike experiences. Others merge with a unity consciousness, a bliss state of yogic union described in spiritual descriptions of samadhi. So the spectrum is vast. Please share your own Kundalini experiences in the comments. I find this fascinating, and if you have had your Kundalini awakened, I want to know about it. In the days and months following a personal Kundalini experience, people often report great shifts of consciousness and a new awareness of the existence of a true spiritual reality. They also report a variety of physical and psychological experiences. Physical symptoms in the body can include periods of elevated energy or fatigue, nausea, diarrhea, coughing, mucus clearing, and changes in the heart rate, sore muscles, and so on. Emotionally, people experience liberation from long-standing tendencies such as guilt or grief, while others experience a period of anxiety, depression, or great fluctuations in mood. Mentally, belief systems long ingrained in a person may suddenly shift. Interest in personal activities, hobbies, and career may change while new ones emerge. Relationships may change. It can be a challenging time. Occasionally, people develop unusual abilities. This may include skills or talents that were not present prior to the experience, such as artistic ability or healing skills. Other people develop unusual abilities such as clairsentient skill and heightened intuition. I believe such developments are related to a person's innate or newly developing spiritual purpose and their Akashic history. People generally develop a growing interest in spiritual ideas. They often begin a search to understand and integrate the experiences they have lived, which become a journey of spiritual realization. When a person experiences these types of energy changes, the human energy system will change as well. Healing of different types are often experienced. Interestingly, when energetic changes occur that lead to such personal transformation, it often arrives with greater insight about the patterns. In other words, an appreciation of the causal energy pattern that is creating a personal issue often arises. Now, as mystical or mysterious as all this may sound, this energy expansion occurs to support our psycho-spiritual development quite naturally. Kundalini awakening is an organic process and occurs quite naturally in human beings, even in our day-to-day lives. It is happening all the time as we mature as conscious beings. It is, however, happening in an accelerated way at the present time. I believe this is related to the shift into the new earth or fourth density. Fourth density energies, new, higher dimensional energies, are coming into the planet, and changing the way that we receive and activate the Kundalini. It's an acceleration of a normal process. It is often a fully conscious experience and will have a profound transformative influence on your life. It leads to an expansion of consciousness as well as an expansion of the human energy system that supports an expansion of consciousness. And the chakras and energy system expand to handle the increased energy that flows through one's energy system. Since such experiences can be startling, it is helpful to understand what is happening when it does occur. Unless a person or a healer understands the phenomenon of a Kundalini opening or awakening, it may not be recognized for what is really happening or be misunderstood and mishandled in various ways. As the Kundalini stirs, one is invited to deeply examine oneself, personal habits, psychological patterns, dietary habits, fears, personal history, and dreams all can arise for introspection. This occurs to support the process of growth. This ideally stimulates within us the desire to want to make positive changes. Interestingly, the drive is not because a health advisor is telling us it is good for us. One simply becomes more aware of what is supportive and what is not supportive in terms of one's energy and well-being. In terms of diet, there's often an interest in eating well. In terms of habits, a person tends to become more self-aware. I've noticed following Kundalini experience, it is not unusual to encounter the magnification of patterns that are being recalibrated. Our personal issues may become exaggerated in our life to help us identify and begin to transform them. For example, one may become more aware of their anger or psychological reactions. One may also end up creating a series of experiences to magnify or tangibly experience the issue to gain insight about its consequences. Hence, it becomes obvious that with the grace of Kundalini activation, there will be some trials and tribulations of refinement. Yet as Kundalini begins to stir and work her magic, it is as if we are taken in the embrace of the Divine Mother and encouraged to heal any facet of ourselves that keeps us divided from an awareness of our spiritual potential. I believe that many gurus and spiritual teachers that have experienced enlightenment actually just had their Kundalini awakened and misunderstood what was happening. It can feel very much like enlightenment, but I believe it's so much more. Kundalini awakens differently for one individual to the next. Some people have dramatic energetic or conscious experiences, and others it's a gentle process that happens over many, many years. Everyone is touched by this process is deeply transformed. Kundalini awakens experientially, not simply logically. The experience solidifies the awareness that we are each a unique expression of spirit. Kundalini introduces us personally to the next steps one is to take to align, to heal, and to achieve our spiritual potential in response to our higher self. Kundalini is the force of the Cosmic Mother, the divine feminine face of God. She will unshackle any chains of illusion necessary in the birth of her divine children. It is at her feet and resting on her bosom that humanity will find the wisdom and the power to grow, to heal, and to transform. And all I can say is I hope that you are blessed by this awakening power. And my intention for this episode has simply been to elaborate and expand upon what the chakras are and how they work. I may have done this before, but I believe that this is a more complete explanation of the chakras, and this is just the beginning. I will go about creating meditations for each of the chakras and the energy systems. And I am calling for you to go back and focus on the chakras once again. If this is a practice that you participated in previous meditations, it's time to move back to them. Once you can get all the lower chakras activated and you can move from the heart into the throat, that's when reality becomes very easy to create. That is when thought takes form. And so you must get to an area where your throat chakra is awakened with all your other chakras balanced. The third eye is the icing on the cake. For many people, it's a struggle to awaken the third eye. But if you can do that, that's when your visualizations really take form. Each of the chakras are important, and each of them play a role in our lives. And they're each teaching us, for I believe they are teachers. And it is a part of the game that we're playing. and there are levels in the game. So I want you to share with me your experiences of awakening the chakras, the sensations of it, and if you've had your Kundalini experience. Keep an eye out for future episodes on this topic, as we will go deeper and deeper into an understanding and explanation of how to awaken these chakras and use this energy, for it is a key part of our awakening into the new earth. You can find all episodes of The Reality Revolution at therealityrevolution.com. And welcome to The Reality Revolution.